Okay, great. So we are live at this moment. And so I want to thank you again for joining us and for being a part of this. As I stated a little bit earlier, we can see that one of the candidates is currently taking another call due to he is still campaigning and the last minute gets in through phone. So at this moment, if we can go ahead and start with you, Mr. Eddie, and introducing yourself and just letting us know what district you're representing and your platform.
My name is James Eddy. I'm running for District 7 City Council. Some of my major issues is getting back to the basics of getting everything from the libraries back up to normal hours to getting after-school programs. Right now we're currently at 12,000 kids in the after-school programs to 24,000. Also working on reducing crime, getting our transportation and our roads back up to where they need to be, and getting a human rights ordinance passed with sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. Them were some things I'm really, really passionate about, plus many other things to make our city great and get our downtown revitalized, and so it connects to our major parts of the city.
Great, great. Thank you so much. And Mr., I believe it's Wendell?
That'll be me, Wendell Sams.
Thank you. Same question for you, sir.
All right. I am Wendell Sams, running for City Council District 7 here in Jacksonville, Florida. And some of the things that we're trying to implement here is to bring businesses to Jacksonville that will give us an influx of money coming into the city, millions of dollars on a consistent basis for Jacksonville. Second thing that we're working on is trying to bring IT development so that we can have some blue-collar jobs. So when our kids and our grandkids get out of college and they want to get a job that pays more than $30,000 to $40,000 a year, they can get these jobs in IT development, and that's just the start. That's the beginning. That's going to be beneficial for all of the people in the city, because now they don't have to leave Jacksonville in order to get $60,000 paying jobs where they can live the American dream. Then you have high school kids who are in high school who can work at the amusement park and prepare themselves for college. So those are two of the things that I'm trying to do to bring money to Jacksonville. That's going to aid our economy and help change unemployment to employment, which will also bring money in so that we can balance our budget to help keep our law enforcement, our fire departments, and our school teachers employed on a more permanent basis, as well as other entities of local government working.
Great. Well, thank you both so much for us, and we're still waiting for Mr. Pollock. Earlier today, and let me just make something real clear to you guys that are joining us today. This is a live broadcast that once we complete this, something that will be uploaded to YouTube and to our Facebook viewers and to anyone else that decides to join this Hangout session with us. So as you announce yourself and introduce yourself, definitely take advantage of the opportunity so you would know, we would know as constituents what's important to you, what you're going to do differently than the rest of the candidates that are running or who are currently in office for this particular term. So there are a couple of questions that I would like to ask you as we wait for Mr. Pollock to come on, and once he joins us, we'll give him the opportunity to state his platform also. So if you are elected, and Mr. Eddie, I will start with you. If you are elected, how do you feel about servitude towards the less fortunate, the special population? And then how do you see Jacksonville playing a part in the economic development of the whole, which will include this special population?
Okay, first and foremost, mostly you're talking to people that are homeless or have economic struggle. Lots of cities have developed great projects, and I think Jacksonville really needs to look at them, and that's actually getting them into regular style homes. It's a process. Most cities go first based on health issues to get them relocated, and have apartment complexes reserve over usually 2 to 3 apartments in every complex in the city to get on board, to get them off the streets and in the home, and follow up with the medical issues. They start with people that are very bad off. They've done it in numerous cities across the United States, and it's been very, very successful, and helped get people back up on their health, because that's one of the major expenses, not only the housing, but also the medical aspect of it. Also, in turn, with that population, we do have a lot of mental health issues, and it seems like we're starting to work on it, especially the ones hanging more at the parks and stuff. They're trying to connect with them more, but I think we can still go farther than that, because sometimes when you're dealing with mental health issues, you feel that you don't need the help, or you have trouble with getting help because of the drugs and stuff. It actually makes people sometimes go in a haze. So a lot of people that have already dealt with it do not want to go on that medication because the way they feel on it. But to build our city economically is every citizen, no matter who they are, if there's someone that's currently out of work, someone that has been out of work for a long time and is homeless, or a lot of our homeless population are also veterans. And we do have a lot of great resources in our city, but I don't feel personally myself that they're well enough tied together, and they're sometimes overlapping and could be better, stronger if they all work together, and that would be nice if they could do that. But we also need to work on economics clear up through with every citizen. The economic structure is improved, but how it's improved is regular basic jobs that usually pay minimum wage or slightly above. We're not ever getting ahead. Even myself as a restaurant manager, I've been at the Jacksonville Zoo for the last 14 years. I actually feel that I am back 10 years even on my job because of all the years that we went with no raises, because the economic structure and everything that was going on in the economy. So I felt, and everything going up in price. So everybody is struggling, and we got to figure out a way that we can increase the jobs that are in Jacksonville, the better paying jobs, and on that we need to give the proper skills, because not everybody is meant for college, but we don't teach the basic stuff that may pay well, like plumbing and construction and ironworking and that kind of stuff that can pay the $15 to $20 an hour compared to working in a fast food environment that doesn't pay very well at all.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your response to this particular question. And I'm ready for you, sir. Mr. Wiley. Do you want me to repeat the question for you?
Yes, please. You talking about me or Mitzi? Polly?
You. Yes, sir. You.
Yeah, please repeat the question. It was rather long, and it's...
Yes, I was told that earlier when we was doing the broadcast about my long questions. They're very thought-provoking, and it gets to the bottom of what we need to know as constituents that you're going to bring to the table. So the question again is, if elected, how do you feel about the servitude towards the less fortunate or the special population, and how do you see Jacksonville playing a part in the economic development of this special population?
Well, the servitude toward the less fortunate and how Jacksonville should play a part in this is that throughout the forums that we've had, I've got an opportunity to meet some great people who are heading up some nonprofit organizations who've stated unequivocally that they would work hand in hand with City Council in order to bring organizations and create organizations that would compensate and take care of the homeless population, and also help them to get back into society on a more permanent basis. Um, as far as a working part of society, I think it's imperative that we give people a hand up and not a hand out. If we can help them to better themselves, then we can all do it together. And there are organizations that are willing to come together to create this atmosphere so that we can help the homeless, disabled veterans, handicapped children and parents, and our seniors as a whole. It is imperative for us as a city to take care of our less fortunate. I reserve the right to say homeless. I'll say less fortunate because there are some of us who are quite fortunate, but yet we have closed pockets, and the closed mouths don't get fed. You've heard that cliche before. And so what we can do is partner with nonprofit organizations to help the less fortunate, as well as the businesses who coming in. I had one of the nonprofit organizations offer to, if the city would even consider breaking off a portion of Cecil Field, allowing them to erect a facility where less fortunate people can go and get food and get housing and get treatment and get educational experience so that they can move right back into the workforce, and instead of allowing their lives to go down the drain by just running from pillar to post. And I think it's imperative that we help people by offering them an alternative in just being less fortunate. So I won't do it all by myself. I need you to be a part of change with us. And that's how we can affect change in Jacksonville, is by allowing those who are less fortunate to take a part of their change for their future.
Thank you for your response to that, and it is evident that you guys are familiar with our nonprofit organizations and how having the sense of leveraging relationships and partnerships is effective in running the city and making the city better. Absolutely. So with that being said, there are many candidates who have shared their ideas and plans on making Jacksonville workforce better for all. If elected, do you plan to work along with other key stakeholders and other elected officials to ensure that the plan, your drive for running for this candidacy leaves no one behind? Which includes, and if I can give an example, the north side, we talked about safer streets earlier today. One of the reasons why that we are doing this platform is to get the intake or the input of you guys when it comes down to jobs and safer streets and understanding the partnership between each candidate and who all work together in the city of Jacksonville. So
I wanted to respond. I did hear you guys this morning, and I was elated, excited, and I wanted to be a part of it, but I understand what it consists of to be on that show, and I'm sorry I couldn't be a part of that, but nevertheless, I'm grateful to God that I have an opportunity to be here with you all this evening. And yes, to respond to that, I listened to what they said about safer streets. One of the most important things, and I have to take my hat off to Councilwoman Kim Daniels, who said that there's money there, it's just how you use the money. And I have to agree with that, because you can waste money that we have, where you can use it wisely, that it will be beneficial for our district and the areas. It is important to know that there are organizations that we can use to partner to bring. Let me interject this by saying this. we had a forum a month ago, and I turned to all of the candidates that's running for City Council in District 7, and I said to them, if I am elected into office, then I will hold them accountable for one thing, and that's coming to City Hall with me so that we all can take part of the change. Change comes because Jacksonville has never seen, in the history of Jacksonville, every single candidate work together at City Hall for change for that district. And I asked them, and I told them that if I win this election, or when I win the election, that I was coming back to get them so that we all can go to City Hall. Unfortunately, there's only going to be one city councilman, but there's other entities within the city where we all can work together for change for the 7th district. And that's how we bring change, not just to the district, but to the city and to the nation, to show that there is change in Jacksonville that's going to unify everyone in our entire city based on the 7th district's action in this election.
Thank you so much for your response. And Mr. Eddie, same question. Would you like me to repeat it, or you remember it?
Fine. Yeah, you must work together no matter what it is. And my administration, if I'm lucky enough to be the voice of District 7, I want to bring, of course, all the candidates together. But it's very, very important that we include the nonprofits, the churches, the organizations that are the major voice. You know, we do have a government, but the organizations throughout our city are the voice. They are the ones that really represent the people in our city, and that's why we have the different organizations and clubs in your communities, and they know more about that particular area, the area they're in, just like SPAR in Springfield. They know everything that's going on in that neck of the woods, even more than the people involved in government. And if you're not including them in the different churches and different organizations like Northside Business Leaders and the Rotary Club and all these different organizations into the conversation, we're not getting all the citizens how they feel about everything from the safety in our street to basic crime to how to make us prosper and for hands up, and get to work and make our district, because the Northwest Quadrant has been neglected. There's different sections that have been really forgotten about, so we've got to overcome that, and how we do it is everybody working together. It's not just the 19 council or even just the mayor and his voice. He better listen to everybody, and that's everybody in the of the district.
And type what name in.
For that response, and that was very enlightening. And we're still waiting on Mincy. We're going to. I have one more question for you guys, and we're going to wrap up shortly.
Wow.
Guys, this particular question, I'm going to give you the next few minutes, after you answer these questions, both of you, I'll give you the next few minutes to tell us why you should be elected. And I know that we started that out at the beginning, but just in case there are individuals that are joining us that just really missed what you were saying a little bit earlier with all the noise that's going on in each of the backgrounds, okay? So the next question that I have for you guys is, the key interest of this particular forum, the one that we had today and the one that we're doing now, are safer street partnerships with sectors, education, and technology. How do you plan to make a result-based impact?
I'm sorry, you're going in and out.
Okay.
You're going in and out.
All right, let me try it again. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. The key interest of this particular forum is jobs and safer streets, partnerships between sectors, education, and technology. Those are the 5 important key interests for this particular forum, the one that we had earlier today and the one that we're currently doing. How do you plan to make a result-based, tangible impact? in these particular areas. And let me elaborate a little bit more on that. We hear a lot of talk when candidates are running for office. So how do you intend to make a result-based impact in the areas of jobs, safer streets, partnership between sectors, education, and technology?
Okay, hold on one second. There are some college students that are joining in so that they can listen.
Great. Thank you for joining us.
They clicked back off. They got scared. Hold on. Click back on. You don't have to say anything. You can just listen. Okay, these are some local FSCJ college students that are here, and I gave them the link to click on so that they can at least sit back and listen and observe. And if they have questions, they can pose their questions. I'm sorry. There are.
Yeah, I see them.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Hey, Mr. Wally and Mr. Eddie. Mr. Wally, I'm going to start with you with the question that I just posed.
Hold on. I'm going to have to hold my shirt up for you. You call me Wally. It's Wendell Sams. Did you get me? It's
Wendell Sams. Mr. Sams, thank you so much.
I'm going to give you an easier title. Just say Reverend Sams. Will that work for you? Okay, no, I'm just teasing. Just call me Wendell. Okay. Now you were talking about jobs, streets, and what else? Safer streets, jobs.
Education, technology, and partnerships between sectors. How do you plan to make a result-based, tangible impact?
Okay. Right now, I have reached out to Mr. Zimmerman, the CEO of Kings Dominion Paramount Themes Park, and I've also reached out to Mark Lampkin, the president of Jacksonville Jaguars, trying to get them to partner with me to bring this amusement park to Jacksonville. That's jobs. 1. 2, I'm still in the process of trying to connect the dots with Bill Gates IT development to bring IT to Jacksonville so that once our youth graduate from college, they can get those IT jobs making $50,000 to $60,000. That's what we're working on currently, even as we campaign to get elected into office. Now, you're asking about safer streets. One of the things that's important is once we have businesses like what Shad Khan had unveiled, bringing the amusement park to Jacksonville, now we have an influx of millions of dollars coming into our city on a more consistent basis, which means now you open up the city so that people can get jobs. Now that you're getting jobs, you got less people unemployed, you got less people trying to create problems, and we must, as a city, hold the sheriff and our law enforcement agencies responsible for our safety of our neighborhoods, our seniors, our youth, and our streets. It is imperative that our elected officials are held accountable to the positions that they are voted in and hired in and employed in. It is, and so I say that because as candidates for city council, we can say a lot about law enforcement, but we are not the law enforcement. But there are rules and guidelines that law enforcement personnel need to uphold, and we have to hold them accountable. We have to hold our sheriff accountable. We have to hold our mayor accountable so that he can hold the sheriff accountable right along with us, so that the people will see and get behind us as city council representatives that we do have their best interests at heart. And so bringing in millions of dollars on a consistent basis saves us from having to go broke. 1. 2, it allows having those type of businesses. 1, it helps our young 16, 17, 15, 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids. They want a good paying job, they can work at an amusement park. Having the amusement park opens up more channels for bringing in shows and nightclubs. Also bringing IT development. There are people here who have they have their master's degrees and their doctorate, and some have just their BA in IT development. But because there's nothing here, they have to leave Jacksonville in order to achieve their goals in life. And now we're losing people here in Jacksonville, and it's imperative that we bring businesses to Jacksonville that's going to embrace our youth so that we can move forward and have something here that's tangible for them to hold on to. And we cannot put the responsibility on our churches. It is our job and I'll say it this way, it is the job of the pastor to lead his folk to Christ and to be with them. To be with a young lady just typed in that she's working toward her medical school in Jacksonville, and that's important. The Baptist is growing. We have a new hospital out here in River City area. It is imperative that we bring businesses that they can have and they can look forward to, and that they can achieve greatness and live the American dream and not work. And God knows that there's nothing wrong with McDonald's or Burger King. It's just that they deserve more than minimum wage jobs. And so that's what we're doing, and that's what's going to help our streets. As long as we hold our law enforcement personnel accountable to doing their jobs. Now you're saying partner with other entities. There are other entities that are up in Baltimore, Maryland, that are in South Florida, that are in Atlanta, that I've reached out to, that doesn't have a problem with coming into Jacksonville. But what about the local businesses here that are not getting the advertisement that they need? Main Street is almost naked. And I've made a suggestion in a forum that we had in the past about opening up Main Street so that the people who own businesses here in Jacksonville will have an opportunity to buy into those businesses that are boarded up on our Main Street as well. Now that's our 7th district. Our east side needs to be opened up. East side is the most non-touched area of Jacksonville in the 7th district. Sad to say that it's shut it down when there's a event at the stadium or event at the fairground, and that needs to be opened up so that those businesses in the east side can get some of the attraction of people coming in as well. Now keep in mind, in order to do that, we got to create an atmosphere that will be warm and fuzzy for our visitors to come in and patronize our businesses. So it's a hand, we have to work together with our community leaders in order for that change to come so that we can do that.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Eddie, I want to ask you the same question, and I believe that you remember what that question is. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I've got it written down.
Okay, and then also our guest that joined us, her question was, what about bringing a medical school to Jacksonville? Is that correct? Is that what your question?
Unmute you.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, thank you so much. So, Mr. Eddie, if you could address that for us also.
Okay, right now, currently, we do have a partnership with with Shands, formerly known as Shands, UF Health, that is a working hospital. In other words, with connection with Gainesville. But as we've seen in the last week or so, they're saying they have an $89 million deficit, even though they just built a new hospital on the north up by River City Marketplace. So I don't personally myself understand how that correlation is that you're saying this week that you are an $89 million deficit, but we just built a hospital. But with that, if we lose that ND of UF Health here in Jacksonville, that is one of our medical schools that's related with Gainesville. Do we have a direct school here? No, we do not. And that would be a great entity with the universities that are already here with UNF and Jacksonville University and FSCJ to add that to the mix of the city, adding more universities, especially a medical school, since we have some of the best hospitals in the United States in Jacksonville.
Right.
Everything from trauma at UF Health to Baptist has the best heart programs, and then plus we have other ones that are specialized in different issues. So to encourage medical school here would be totally great and would give us another resource in our city. But to answer your first question is mixing the sectors of District 7, that's mostly besides just the whole city. It's so diverse in our city, from everything from working down Brooklyn that used to be the old African American community that has expanded and now is turned into 2020 Riverside, new stores and everything, so it's transformed, and we have lost a lot of the old community just like we did in La Villa in the past few years, and it's not the same kind of community, and that's a shame when things do need to change, but also you don't want to lose the culture that was currently there and still needs to be embraced with that. But where do we bring things in like technology? The city can embrace technology so the citizens can actually engage with government. And what I mean by that is everything from engaging with the mayor through technology just like we're doing here, or engaging in a city council meeting. You ask a regular citizen if they've ever been to a city council meeting or engaged, even online or even on television, and 9 times out of 10 the answer is no. And if you don't know what's going on down at City Hall, you're not going to know what's going to affect your life today, tomorrow, or in the future. So it's good if we can find some different technologies to help that. And one thing the city has done recently is they made a dashboard program, and I wish more people would know about it, to say how our services are doing and improving, that's working with 630 City to make it better. So, I mean, the technology there is falling in place, but it can still be majorly improved. Another one recently we did was finding parking in our city. They did a test program with technology so you could easily find a parking space at our certain meters in the city. That program, with my knowledge, went pretty well, but it was dropped after the test program. But technology like that can move the city forward, even to the point of when someone crosses the road, there's technology now in place that would indicate if someone's in that crosswalk, but we don't use that technology like we should, seeing that we're third and fourth in pedestrian and bicycle safety in the United States, and we have one of the worst records in the United States. So technology can come in effect every time through a city, but we're not utilizing like we should in the city. Education systems. We do have one of the best schools in the nation. A lot of people don't know that. Plus, we have some art schools, but we do have schools that are failing. As a city council person, you don't have that much input on the education of our city, because that is for the school board and Dr. Vitti, and he's trying to make improvements. But we can also remind people that we don't deserve F schools in this place and the city, because our citizens are better at that and can learn and get that education, and we need to engage ourselves, no matter if you're a parent or not a parent, and engage with students and our youth. And that also comes down to part of our safe streets that we have in the city. I mean, just recently we had 13 shootings in our city in the last week. I mean, that's deplorable, but I've been talking about it majorly since we started this campaign for over a year. We had a big string exactly the same time last year during March and April of a string of shootings and murders during the same exact time. And we've got to get it under control. And one way, to me, that it will improve is, of course, jobs play a factor in that, because if you don't have economic development, you don't even have food to provide to your family, you're not, you're going to go down the wrong path, plain and simple. But also with the safety of our streets, we as citizens, not always government, but as citizens, need to take back our streets. I luck out. I'm right off of Main Street where I live, but I think a little bit blessed. It seems like because of my neighbors, the kids feel safe on my street, even to go out and bicycle. Most streets you don't even feel that way. And I'm not in the safest neighborhood, because you go 2-3 blocks down, you have prostitution and drug deals in my neighborhood all the time. Okay, I'm just literally right off Main Street, right before the Trout River Bridge. It's been here, and it's been here for years. And how can we improve it? I think one reason with that, with JSO needs to start to become B cops again. Get actually out of their cars and actually look what's going around. There are some great JSO officers, but there's also bad ones, and I've encountered them with myself. My house 4 years ago was a home break-in. The JSO feel like the first part of it was pretty engaging. Second part, because my roommate's car was stolen, we actually got it back. But the cop that came and to do the paperwork did not feel like he should have to worry about things like evidence that's in the car. He told us to throw it away. So if you're not engaging with the citizen and doing your job as a JSO officer, how is people going to feel safe when you have something happening to you and it's not engaging? So JSO needs to step up on that point and actually engage with the citizens and live their life too. In other words, back in, people used to be beat cops and actually work the streets. They don't do that anymore and know who's on that street, who lives on that street, who doesn't belong on that street when you see a car that doesn't belong there. And that's every part of our city. If you don't feel safe in your city, you don't want to live in that part of town. Also on that, with the jobs, we need to focus getting better jobs in our city, and that's where one thing with the Human Rights Ordinance, we lost 2 major companies when the HRO was not passed. The Human Rights Ordinance was not passed in 2012. It's got to pass this time. They did not come here because when you don't have protections for sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression, it stops major 500 companies from coming here because it's part of their protection, and they cannot recruit some of the best and brightest when people don't feel like they're going to be discriminated in the city that they move to, or the ones that already live here. So it's all these different pieces that we must tie together, and what it comes down to is not always government. Yes, City Hall can do their part, but we also, as citizens, need to step up, in other words, and watch our neighbors' houses for them. Watch the kids on the street so they're safe. And report what we see, because if we don't, as citizens, report what's going on, JSO cannot do their job because they don't know what's going on. But we can make Jacksonville a better city by tying all these pieces together and making it a better city. But everybody needs to work together in the city to make it happen.
All right. Well, hey, that was great, James. I see that we got a little bit of background with the young ladies back there. You guys must be having fun tonight. Is that correct, Carol?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Is that the young lady's name, one of the students back there?
Yeah, that was a student. They're actually on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, I'm joining in now, you guys. Hey, this is Anthony. So
welcome, Anthony.
Here the second half. I see, is Mitzi actually on the call, or what is he doing?
I think he's off this call.
Okay.
I'm here, y'all. Thanks a lot. How y'all doing?
Hey, Mitzi. All right.
Hey.
I figured you're going to be ready shortly, but you guys, Roshanda, she did a great job. She wanted to say hello before she heads out. She's done a great job all day, being a part of the team. And just want to say goodbye to you. She heads out tonight.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
have a good one. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Hey, I really appreciate your questions. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. And once again, thank you too, Anthony. This has been awesome.
Oh,
And
yes.
thank you guys for tuning in on earlier today. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much.
All right. So now, I know we actually left off with you, James. Now, Mincy, did you have a chance to hear the questions?
No, I did not get a chance to hear it. I was on another interview on Blog Talk Radio with Fred Wilson.
Great, great. So how did that end up for you?
It was good. The only bad part is I was trying to do both at the same time.
Same time, hey man, I know how it is.
But it went good. It went great. It was a great audience, and I imagine we talked about some of the same things that we're going to be talking about with you all.
Right, right. So you guys, did any of you have a chance, though, to tune in earlier today, or did you have a chance at all?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What did you think about the broadcast?
That broadcast was, I think it was great. It was live, and my only concern was that I guess more people couldn't be there, and I think it's something that you guys should, if you guys look for it for the future, I think it'd be something spectacular for everyone to be able to, all of the candidates running for office to come into the studio and do a live it's awesome. And
Yeah.
I want to commend you guys for doing such a great job at it this morning. I did hear it. I heard City Councilwoman Kim Daniels. I heard Councilman Reggie Brown. And I heard the other candidate that's running for District 7, Reggie Gaffney. And I've heard some of their responses. And I want to say to you guys that I wish I could have had an opportunity to address the questions then. And the college students are leaving out now. They're going, that were here. There are other people that are logging on. I think the form that you had this morning and the form that you had tonight that you're having now that are the same, I think it's imperative that the people chime in and find out the answers to the questions that they have, because we can give you all of the answers that you asked for, but what about the people who live in the streets? What about the people who go through the hell every day? What about the people who get robbed? And what about the person who doesn't have the job, who says, okay, what are you going to do for me? Like the young lady that goes to FSCJ who asks, what about my these schools for the medical schools here in Jacksonville? What about that? There's a great medical college in Virginia that's important. We can partner with those universities and see what we can bring some of their ideas to Jacksonville. That's going to be beneficial for the long haul for the college students that have a medical degree.
Right.
I met one of the most influential surgeons in Jacksonville, Dr. Savageau, who is a neurologist, and he saved my wife's life when she had an aneurysm. You know, and so it's important to have great physicians working in Jacksonville.
Right. I'm with you. Well, definitely agree that there are constituents that are actually in need of, you know, these tough questions and how we can help them as well. That is definitely something important. So I know for all the candidates that are running, you know, I'm actually getting somebody who's trying to get in on one of the candidates actually is still trying to get on the call. Unfortunately, having some technical difficulties, but those are some great questions. Now, here's what I want to do then. Mincy, are you available? I see you put me on mute, but if you can come on for a second. And I want to kind of chime in with Mincy real quick and let him share a little bit about who he is as well. And then we'll kind of go into a couple of the other areas and address some of these other areas. But Mincy, if you don't mind just taking a few minutes just to share who you are and the at large that you're running for.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, Curtis. First of all, this is a great thing that you're doing here. I'm extremely happy that you've given viewers and listeners a platform. This is what I call transparency, which is a strong piece of what is carried within my platform. I know earlier some folks were talking about technology, and one of the things I look forward to do is utilizing some of these safe services, taking these council meetings that are taking 2-3 hours to complete, being able to condense it in such a way that you can get voters engaged, similar to the way James Eddy was saying a little bit earlier. So again, thank you so much. For those that are just tuning in or just logged on, my name is Mincy Pollock. I'm your solutions candidate. I'm simply running because I don't want to be a part of the problem. My grandma would always say, if you are if you're not part of the answer, then you're part of the problem. And I just think that Jacksonville needs solutions. And I'm running on that platform, a native of Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm running for the Group 3 at-large seat. And for those that may be tuning in, I'm often asked, what is at large? What is that all about? And just so real simply, there are 14 district seats. So, and let's say you might be living in 7 over there, or you might be in 7 in Springfield. You might be over there, and my good buddy's there, his district, and let's say he has a lot of work and he can't complete it all because there's so many needs and he's working really hard. Well, you can tap into your at-large candidate to be able to help you as well. So whether you're in Springfield, like Eddie, and or like Sam, if you're in that area, you'll still have somebody else that you can reach out to. You technically have 6 council people, a district person, and 5 at large. You get to pick somebody in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm asking for your vote in group 3. We have one of the largest municipalities in the state of Florida, and some call them deputy mayors in other areas. For us, uniqueness, we have 19 council members that are there participating and helping for the betterment of Jacksonville. And I look to be your solutions candidate there in group 3. I don't want to talk too long since I'm just chiming in. I'll follow your lead, Curtis.
Oh, yes. Solutions candidate. I like that. So, okay, now, as far as your incumbent, I'm just curious to know, or how many others are you running against, or what exactly are you running against? Or you don't have to say names, but I'm just curious to know how many others are you running against?
I am running against 2 other people, and I don't mind saying the name.
Okay.
Because the next question is usually what makes us different. And I'm running against former Mayor Tommy Hazouri. And I can start by when we ask what makes us different. I'm looking over here in the group chat, and I'm looking below, and I don't see him. So absence is not going to be what we're looking for. I've never been mayor. I've never been a part of the state house. I've never been on the school board. But I've always been a part of this community. I'm a local business owner, and I create jobs, and I know what that means. And I'm just looking forward to serving our great city here in Jackson.
Well, that leads us into the question that we asked the other candidates in regards to what she wrote down here. I'm just going to use what she wrote, but the key interest of this particular forum is pertaining to jobs, safer streets, partnerships between sectors, as well as education and technology. So the question is, how do you plan to make a result-based, tangible impact in those areas?
Okay, all right, sounds good. I like that, results-based. Expect results, you get results. And let's start with the first area, and that is jobs. I think it's important to create more jobs here in Jacksonville, but not just minimum wage jobs, but living jobs. Jacksonville has the potential of being the 3rd largest port in the country. That means a whole lot of jobs. Logistically, the way we're set up with access to 10, 75, 95, it makes us the perfect conduit to have organizations that pay living wages. I heard you mention like technology, companies that will come here with the land mass that we have. If we make our city attractive, they'll do well. I think it's important to definitely create these jobs, and not just jobs with minimum wage, but again, jobs that are living wage. Economic development and sustainability are extremely important to me. Extremely important to me.
Right.
And collaborations. I can just speak it's the small business base, it's our entrepreneurs that actually are the that fuel our economy here in our city. I'll take, for instance, my agency for a second. Over the last 2 years, we went from having 1 agent to over 47 agents that are part of our association. And that is a great example of jobs that were created. I understand the importance of that. When you mention collaborations, a lot of times we don't see the interlocking and interrelationship of the collaborations and how many more jobs it completes when you partner. Using, again, my insurance company, for example, we partnered with Enroll America, which brought in field directors and support, which created jobs and helping people get insured. We partnered with Epilepsy Foundation, the Health Planning Council, which brought navigating jobs, 5 and 10, based on grants that they received. And so that's a great example of how you partner with a collaboration to create more jobs. We opened a hub in an outside location outside of Jacksonville and went into a mall that was becoming a ghost town. So that's a great example of how we brought a company into an area that was sort of dormant and brought life to it. And we had thousands of people that went through Regency Mall who maybe hadn't been there and kind of forgotten about it. And again, that afforded an opportunity for more jobs to be created indirectly because the mall had to have more staffing power to be able to have the manpower to handle the volume of increased traffic that it got. So a great example, and I'm glad you said collaboration, these are the jobs. I mean, that's a key component. I sit on board with the Jacksonville Job Corps, and one of the things that we do is we have students come in when they reach the internship level. And the goal is for them to be shadowed by professionals so that they can make the transition into the workplace. I think as we go after and get more companies to come to Jacksonville, we don't just stop at asking the question of, do you want to come here? We have to go further and ask them, hey, would you like to be an academic partner with one of our failing schools and help create incentives? Would you like to be one of our partners for ex-felons, be able to rehabilitate them in a place that they can work? Would you like to be a part of an internship program so we can have some students work and shadow you? I think we go after the companies that are paying living wages, but again, through collaborations, we ask that question about them partnering and becoming a part of that. I think a lot of this is correlational as well as we transition to the other part you asked about, which was public safety. If we're creating jobs, they're not minimum wage, creating struggle, but creating living wages jobs. If we're creating collaborations, which means we're getting the business involved with our schools and the community, I think you'll automatically see a decrease in crime, and we'll have safer streets and safer neighborhoods. Whether you live in Washington Heights, Secret Village, Hilltop, Cleveland Arms, Palm Terrace, Gulfbrook, Hollybrook, or Queens Harbor or Ponte Vedra or the beaches, you should experience the same or have access to the same quality of life. And that's one of my goals as a council person, a solutions council person. So Curtis, I think I hit each one of those points. I'm not sure if I missed that one.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, you definitely did. Okay, I'm going to bring them back on now because I had a lot of movement back there. But no, I agree. You definitely did hit all the points. So now, with saying that, let me ask you, each of you, this real quick, and I'm going to mute you real quick, and I'm going to start with you, Wendell. Give me 1 second so I can turn it back over to you. Wendell, so
yes.
Let's say, okay, you are the, I guess you can say, council person for District 7 now. You've been elected as city council person. So what exactly will you look to do your first day in office? What exactly is your ultimate plan on that first day?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is thank God. That's the very first thing I'm going to do, because it would not happen unless God had ordained it to be so. And then I'm going to thank my wife and family for their support. And then once we get into work, I'm going to go right to work. The first thing I want to do is to make good the promise of continuing to work diligently to bring businesses to Jacksonville so that we can take care of our youth as well as our seniors. And let me preference that by saying right here, who I'm bringing into the camera is a young lady that's a college student here in Jacksonville, and she also works at Starbucks. One thing I'm trying to do is to make sure that our youth have a future other than just working fast food or Starbucks, trying to bring IT development so that once she finishes school and get her degree, she can reach out and get a IT development job that's going to pay her $50,000 to $60,000 a year, $40,000 a year. Don't have to work for $7.80 or $8.90 or $9.20 an hour. She can enjoy living the American dream. It's imperative that we get right on it and start to work and join forces with every organization that's willing to bring change for us here.
Looks
At the
like
present. And in the process of going right to work, like I promised, I will go to every single candidate that was on the ballot and see if I can bring them into City Hall with me so that we can work collectively together to bring change to the 7th District as a whole.
okay, great. Okay, then, James, this question, let me go ahead and let you also answer that same question, if you don't mind, in regards to your first day on the job. What exactly would you look to do? Oops, hold on one second, James. Give me 1 second.
Hello, Jane? Is he
Nope.
there? He's not muted.
There we go. I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yes. All right.
Okay. That's okay. First day in office, it's plain and simple. I mean, with Johnny Gaffney leaving the office, District 7 is a little bit different than every place else. However, if someone wins it right out 50+1 and tomorrow, they take office next week. So, or if not, we have to wait till May. But either way, it sounds like we're going to have to dive headfirst into the pension plan and get up to speed on it, because not all the citizens actually know what every integral piece of the pension plan is, and that's hovering over our head. And if we don't get that solved, we're going to be another Detroit. So, first thing in office, everybody thinks great plans, but if we don't get the pension plan situated and get the money and figure out where the money is going to come from. I don't like the JEA plan. I do think that we need to go either a half cent or a cent on sales tax, not on property tax, because that really hurts the seniors when you go to property tax and low-income people. So across the board tax to be able to make that happen, because right now our city doesn't have the funds to fund everything. I mean, that's why I always say we need to get back to the basics, and that's because our regular services, since the economic downturn has went so far down, we don't have any of the basics. In other words, when I was downtown the other day, at 11 o'clock, the main library had a humongous line just to get in to use the services at 11 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, by 11 o'clock in the afternoon, people should be already in there looking for jobs, using the computers. The kids should have access to the books, because this was during spring break when they had the opportunity to go in there and use the resources, because we have some of the best libraries. I mean, that's why we had the Better Jacksonville plan, is to build some of the greatest libraries, but we never foreseen ahead and to give them the resources and give them the technology like we was talking earlier, so they could transform from regular books to other resources. They don't have the resources to do that, so they can't even get the materials. So we got to start diving into that pension plan and get it solved, or we're going to be in worse shape than we are now. And I don't think the citizens as a whole realize how bad it is. In other words, we're going to wind up going bankrupt if we don't get this solved. Plain and simple. We can have big dreams and everything like that, and I want to see big dreams for Jacksonville, and I want to see us have great things down at the shipyards and promote the arts and get people boost back up. But that hanging over our heads right now, and the first day, that's what's going to happen. No matter who is in 7, that's what they're going to dive into, especially if they walk in there next week after the election of someone. I don't think anybody's going to get 50+1. I hope I'm actually the voice that's going to go into city council to be that voice for the citizens. But that's what we've got to attack head on. And then after that, then we start looking at the budget, and then we can start looking at bigger projects and see what money's still out there and what money that has been buried in different projects that we now are realizing are there, but we can't frivolously spend when we don't have what we, just for even our basic essentials of part of life. I mean, most people don't even realize in the last budget there was not even money in there to fix potholes. If we're a city and we don't even have infrastructure in our city, we're not going to make it. We got to get back to the basics. We can have great dreams, but if we're not fixing them, the basic problems when it comes down to our money and how we spend our money in our city, we are going down the wrong track, and we've got to improve that so we can have the regular things that we expect that comes from our taxpaying money, because it's the citizens' money. It's not the government's money. We went and worked hard at our jobs so they can have that money to spend it wisely, and we've got to get that under control.
Right. I got you. Well, hey, that's a great answer as well. Mincy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you go ahead and piggyback on that as well then, if you don't mind. That was the question of your first day in office. What exactly are you looking to accomplish in that first day?
All right. Thanks a lot, Curtis. I appreciate the question. My answer is probably a little bit different. Probably a little, probably a little goofy or so, That's the transparency of me. The first day in office, I'm going to go sit in that little comfortable chair up there, and I'm going to see if it's got a little button on the side like this on my chair right here, and I'm going to go up and down, up and down. Then I'm going to spin around about 10 times. I'm going to get into the seat, man, and for all jokes aside, I'm probably going to do that spin thing, though, for real. But the first thing that I'll be doing as soon as I get into office is learning. The first thing I want to do is, I believe that success leaves clues. I know that during this council race, there are 10 vacancies. However, I do think that some people are going to return to have experience. My first day in office is going to be identifying that mentor, that teacher. One of the key things I think Ford said that made him successful in the industry was, he said that I'm not the smart guy. I just know how to put a lot of smart people around me.
Right.
So I'm going to go and find Stephen Jost's notebook. He was successful 2 terms without somebody running against him the second time, and I'm going to read his notes. And I'm going to read the notes of any notes left around with people that did successful things. I'm going to pace myself. I'm going to begin to put things into action that I promised, like the transparency and technology that I want to bring to the people. And I'm going to take it one day at a time, giving God the glory of which who got me into the seat. And if I trust the things that got me there, those same things will keep me there and make a big difference to the people who voted me there.
Okay. All right. Great answer. Now, I'm going to get a little bit more extreme now, you guys. Okay. We were able to, I guess you can say, start off with Roshanda asking you some nice questions and that type of thing. So now we're going to get a little harsher with the questions, because I want you guys to know, you will have individuals, as you're in the seat or in the office, you're going to have to answer challenging questions, or you can escape the questions, or you can dodge, what have you. But I think that the candidates that take the role of a council person, it's a tough job from what I've seen. Can you guys agree with me on that?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And what I'm basically looking to see is how each of you now, all of you, would be your first time taking office. Now, when it comes down to tough times, how do you guys cope with tough times or challenges? So I'm going to lead off with you, James, let you share how you think that you would be able to handle that position, the role as a city council person for that district. You're going for District 7 as well?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you have that really you can say you can handle? How can you handle the pressure of the masses, the people, and dealing with both the sheriff as well as the mayor, and how, everybody basically, this is a tough position that you're going for. So how are you going to be able to, I guess you could say, perform?
Okay, first and foremost is based on my background. I've been a restaurant manager since I was in my 20s. I'm 44 now. A restaurant's a as a pressure cooker. I mean, plain and simple. If you can't take that, you know, it's the old saying, if you can't stand the heat, get the hell out of the kitchen. It's the same kind of thing when it comes to the political arena. I have to, in my job, have to deal with staff. I have to deal with guests that come in the restaurant. I work at the Jacksonville Zoo, and I don't know if you guys have ever been there on a busy day. Just like this past weekend, we have lines clear out the door of guests trying to come in to eat. It's not like just a small place. I mean, we deal with lots and lots of people. So it's the same thing in city government. Is you got different pieces of the pie and people you got to work with, but ultimately who it comes down to is the citizens and working with them. A lot of our city council people, especially the one we just had to leave office in District 7, was not there for the citizens, not there to listen to the citizens. So to get the people in and actually be able to pick up the phone and they can talk to me, to come into the office and talk to me. In other words, not 2 days a week, 5 days a week, just like a regular job. So you can get the information. In other words, if I don't know something about an issue, we have lots of experts in the city. I'm going to call them in to talk to them, you know, or conference call them. So I get the information because I don't know everything. You know, I'm coming from a restaurant background, so if someone's talking about the port, you know, I can go from my background, like working at the zoo, to know about the port and know about the environment, but the intricate details, I need that expert. And if I'm not willing to dive in and learn from that expert, or even just walk across the street to the library and do my research like a lot of council people do not, and they're coming into the city council meeting and asking questions that would have been easily just solved by Googling something or going across the street to the library or even send someone out to get the information, you're not prepared for the job. You have to get on every single issue as much information about that issue and analyze that not only from your viewpoint, but from the professionals and from our citizens, because they're the ones that put us in office and give us this position. Yes, we're not always going to agree with every person that comes in our office, but we better at least listen to them, because if it's something that affects their lives, we better take that into account, plain and simple. Because that vote that we place, that little ticker in that machine, and either go green or red, is their vote. It's not my vote. It's their vote as a citizen. And we better listen and educate ourselves. If we don't know, especially on a lot of these issues, they go on for 7, 8, 9, 10 months on a bill that's going through council. And they have it hashed out over and over again because the councilmen or women are not doing their homework and expecting someone to come in a council meeting that's 3 hours long and try to give them all the information they can. It doesn't work that way. Just like any other job, if you're not being prepared when you come into those meetings, you don't deserve to be in those meetings. Plain and simple.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate that. So, Wendell, we're going to turn it over to you as well for you to answer that question. How do you perform under pressure?
Oh, okay. Well, that's an interesting question for someone. I guess being activated for war and part of the Iraqi Freedom War, and God has kept me and blessed me that I didn't crack under pressure there. Going to college and getting a master's in theology, as well as raising my daughters as a single parent, I didn't crack there. I think taking care of the people of the city is just as important as taking care of the people in the district. So as far as cracking under pressure, I'm not worried about the cracking under pressure. But if there's an entity where I may need guidance, I'm not so far above that I can't ask for some help. It's important that we look to those who paved the way for us for information that will continue to take us to the future. But we must not forget that we have to bring something to this table so that we can take it to the next level. I would not hesitate to say that I'm looking forward to Dr. Gaffney being able to hand the baton to me so that I can take it to the next level. And the next level is IT development, is bringing Jacksonville, Florida up to speed with other municipalities around the United States of America. It is important that we are a part of the playing field, that we can have the minimum wage raised to where the cost of living is not upside down. It is imperative that when you legislate laws as a councilman, that you are prepared, properly prepared, to legislate the laws so that we can intelligently inform the people of the city and our district of what's going on so that they can be a part of the change. It's so imperative that the people are a part of the change and not behind the change. And I'm not pointing my fingers at anyone. I think that everyone who had the seat in city council was voted in, and the people wanted them there. And now, for this election, when the people vote, they're going to vote because that's who they want in the seat. And at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, if Wendell Sam's name is on the list to go to the May election, or 50% of the vote plus one, then I will move right in to do what I need to do to show the people that we're going to do this together as a unit.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Mincy, are you still there?
I am still here. Yes,
Great.
I am.
Okay, so I'm going to have you to share with us as well, how do you perform under pressure? So I know that you can answer that better than me.
All right, how do I perform under pressure? Good.
Okay. So to be able to
What, Sam, you didn't like that answer? That was too simple for you. Hey, Curtis, listen, this is how I perform well under pressure. I enjoy what I'm doing. How do you perform well under pressure? Not be pressured, not be stressed. I'm running for city council because it's something I'm looking forward to. I haven't had as much fun doing this since I was youth pastor for Young Life and Urban Ministries of Springfield. I'm having a blast. I have a job. I own a business. That's pressure. Trying to get insurance companies and the government to pay you on time. That's pressure. But even what makes me feel good about what I do when I'm insurance and things don't come together, that there's 47 people that are on my team. I know they have needs and they have dreams. And I consider myself as a vision consultant. So me helping to hold them accountable brings me joy even under pressure. So I enjoy it. The simple answer to not cracking under pressure is to enjoy what you're doing. And then the answers and solutions to resolving any issue come very easy.
Yeah, I got you. Well, you answered that question then. Now, I'll say this, you guys, because I've seen you guys out, quite a bit, and I see you too. Seem like you enjoy being out, sharing with the public, and being a voice for your particular districts or at large groups. So I know that you guys are both, got a, I guess you could say, a big mountain to climb type of thing, but at the same time, with your faith, you've been doing it. So now, District 7, you have various incumbents, or I should say candidates that are incumbents that you're going against. I see Reverend Sams. I know in Group 3 that you have, Mincy, one of the largest names out there that most people remember back in the day, How do you guys feel as far as their names being a little bit more established than yours, since we have name recognition, that type of thing, when people go to the polls? How do you feel, Mincy, that guys are in your favor? I know you got your bobblehead out there. They got that You know, a great concept that you're using, and I think you're known throughout the city for that now, man. So that's a great, concept. So how do you overcome a name such as, Missouri? I'll let you say. But how do you
Well,
overcome?
I mean, it's an easy question. I mean, I appreciate it. It's the reality of it. Now, how
Yeah.
do I overcome it? The same way you saw those people at the 100 meters at the Bob Hayes. They weren't looking to the left. They weren't looking to the right. They were looking at the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, behind the finish line exist our voters and the residents of Jacksonville.
Yep.
I run my race. Now, I'll be not being honest with you if I didn't have be a witness that I don't have peripheral vision.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's something there. But the key is to concentrate on your focus.
Yep.
And that's simply how I do it. It's interesting, when before I ran, actually I was in the race and my opponent actually asked me to get out the race. And my opponent said to me, "Man, you're the best candidate that I ever met so far." We joked to each other as gentlemen. And he said, "You know what, Mincy? You might just be the giant killer." Now, I don't know if he was calling himself a giant, but the man that I am, I saw myself as David.
Right.
And that's simply how I look at this race.
Okay. So you are the David of the
Well,
story.
if you read the good book, I don't think the giant had a name.
Well,
While they feared it, it was just a giant. But the story goes on just to talk about David.
right.
And what he did for the people, man. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm just having a little fun with it, but that's strictly how I deal with it. I knew that running this race, all black people don't live in District 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Yep.
So for someone to tell me I need to run in one of those before I have the right to run in large, I just don't see that. We live in the suburbs as well.
Right.
That's number one. The second thing I looked at is that the seat had turned. And there's never been an African American or a Democrat to ever win the seat. So you have to ask yourself the question, why has no one ever ran before? It's simply probably the same way that those folks back when the Giant and David thing situation didn't think they could win. So why bother? Somebody has to be a trailblazer. Somebody has to be willing to be the model. Somebody has to be able to take one turn and risk and pitch and toss and lose and start again in the beginning and never breathe a word about their loss.
Right.
Somebody has to be that individual. That's been the plight of my whole life, to be a trailblazer. And I'm looking forward to what I call purpose-driven politics.
Purpose-driven. Okay. Well, I know we coming out at the top of the 2-hour mark. We're going to be closing shortly, but I'm going to let you also, Reverend Sam, answer that question as well, since you.
Wow.
Yes.
I have 8 people. It's a total of 8 of us running for that one seat. The incumbent, Dr. Johnny Gaffney, was turned, and now there's 8 people running. I don't know. I just, it's amazing, and I look at it when I see so many people make comments about, wow, Reggie Gaffney's in the race, George Spencer's in the race, Soretta Williams in the race, Mark McCullough's in the race, Donald Foy's in the race. There's all those names. But when I go door to door and I knock on these people's doors and I talk to them, and they say to me, we don't know you. Tell me about you. And I tell them about me, and I tell them where our plan is and the vision and the focus and where we're headed and what we're trying to do. And they say, about time we have somebody that's different. And we're tired of the same old people in Jacksonville, and we want something new. Because something new may be the change we need that's going to bring us to the next level. And I am running on the premise that God has got my back. And I don't have all of the endorsements. I don't have the Congresswoman's endorsement. I don't have the Chamber of Commerce endorsement. I don't have endorsements or money coming from California, other countries, other states. I don't have that. But what I do have is the Lord. And I believe that as long as the Lord and I are together, that His will be done. Win, lose, or draw, I am truly believing God for His will to be done in the 7th district race. As I so eloquently said earlier, if I win, we all win, because I want all of the candidates to go with me in the city hall so that we can affect change in the 7th district as well as the city for a better tomorrow today. I'm looking forward for the people to vote Wendell Sams when they go to the poll for change. I'm not running on the word change because of the president. I'm running on the word change because we can do it one step at a time. That's how we do it. I believe God, I believe in people, and I believe in me. And if I can't believe in me, then the people can't believe in me. So I'm not worried about the big names. I'm not worried about the big money, because they're in for a surprise come tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. All of that money and still didn't win. But the guy with the least amount of money is going to be victorious. Now, I would love to see it say 50% of the vote plus one for Wendell Sams. I would love it. I would praise God for it. But if it just put me in the top 2, I'm satisfied. There are a couple people that I want to give shout outs to. That's Richard Cuff, who was in the 7th district race. He has committed to work with me and support this campaign. And Brenda White, who ran for mayor in the past, and she is supporting this campaign. But there's no endorsements. So I thank God that I have just one endorsement, and that's the Lord. So Anthony, as far as me being worried, sometimes I get the little butterflies, and I got to go outside. And I tell my wife yesterday, I said, I need to just be alone, just me and the Lord for a few minutes. She says, are you worried? I said, just a little bit. You know, I have the butterflies, but I just need to talk to the Lord for a little bit. And then so I steal away so that I can talk to the Lord. And then I jump right back in it again, and I go full steam. And being out late at night, people pull your signs up and throw them on the ground, and I dig them up and put them back in the ground again. And I thank God that He's given me the tenacity to keep on striving, no matter what the adversary is. And frankly, I ain't worried about the other people. I believe God for this victory.
Okay. Well, hey, I definitely appreciate you. And you guys are listening to the Candidates Forum. Now, we're going to let you two give your summation in closing. I'm going to start with you, Reverend Sam, so that we can let you share a few words, or would you like for us to start with Mincy? I'm going to give you the option.
Okay. Well, I will allow Mitzi, since he came in later, I allow him to give his close first, because he was on his other call. So I allow him the opportunity to address the public first.
I knew he was going to say that, Mincy. You know that, right?
You know I know.
I knew. I think he's going to pray us out. He's going to close.
Yeah, he's going to do the, you know, the preacher got to do the benediction.
There you go. Right. I knew that was coming. I already knew. That's why I mentioned it to him.
Hallelujah. God bless you, man.
Hey, I tell you what, I don't know how many people can listen to the sounds of our voice or visualizing this tonight, but it has truly been fun. It has been great sharing. It's been a great forum. It's always good to be in good company. As I close, I would just say what I said in the very beginning, and that is that I am your solutions candidate. It's time that we address issues and we come up with solutions. We have to have sustainability, equality, and transparency. Insanity is when you do the same things that you always done, but expecting different results. Listeners, viewers, you have the opportunity tomorrow to change Jacksonville. We are fast becoming known as the bold, old city, but we can make it vibrant again. We can be the bold, newer city than the newest city of the South. But it means you've got to come out to vote tomorrow. I don't care what the forecast says. Leave tomorrow with your umbrella. Leave tomorrow with your raincoat and your boots. Whatever you do, as we celebrate the 50th year of the Voters' Rights, please go vote tomorrow. Never before have we have this many vacancies and this many opportunities for change. Everybody deserves for their voice to be heard, and you can do that tomorrow. I am asking that you consider me as your candidate. Newness, freshness, innovative ideas, the bobblehead solutions, man. Think long and hard about the other names as you vote for me and say, you know what? I think I am ready for some change. You know what? I've looked at the voting record of this other guy, and he's made some bad choices that have impeded the growth of Jacksonville. That's that guy Mincy, who was responsible for helping healthcare come to Jacksonville and us getting national attention. That's that guy from the radio that was always doing things in the community. That's that guy that sure seems like he's having fun. Remember these things when you bubble in that second name, Mincy Prayer Paulo, for City Council at Large, Group 3. Your solutions candidate.
There you have it. All right, Mincy, hey, once again, at Large, Group 3, you got a huge, huge group. I see you said one of the largest in the country, and by far it's a task out there, you guys. So you guys got to commend all the candidates who have run this race, you know. And I know it's not given to the swift nor the strong, but the one that endure to the end. So I see you guys are enduring. So commence and congratulations to you, Mincy, for coming to the finish line, coming home tomorrow to the finish line. So March 24th, you guys got to get out and vote. Make sure you get out there and vote. March 24th, that is tomorrow, and that is the last day for the primaries. And then, if possible, if we have to go through the general election, that will be for another month. So these candidates are looking to take the gold medal tomorrow and get this all out the way. Is that not correct there, Dr. Reverend Sands?
That is correct.
Right.
I want 50 plus 1.
I'm going to let you go ahead and share a few closing remarks as well, and we're going to wrap this up.
Prayers out, too.
Yes, sir. Not a problem. Okay. Let me say to you, Anthony, and to your organization, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to address the people of Jacksonville. It is so important that you guys continue to do what you've been doing for early voting, and that's to get out and vote. I can say all night long, I can say tomorrow, the next day, hey, vote Wendell Sams. Hey, but I need you to vote. Let's make a difference. I'm trying to make a difference in City Hall. I'm trying to make a difference in the Democratic Party. I'm trying to make a difference everywhere I go. Because if I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living will not be in vain. It is imperative that you go and let your voice be heard, go to the polls and vote. And it doesn't matter who you vote for, just as long as it says Wendell Sams. It doesn't matter who you vote for. And I said that jokingly because I want you to know that it's important for us as a district, as a city, and as a race of people to stand up for something, or you'll fall for anything. So please go to the polls and vote for change. Vote for new direction. Vote for vision. Vote for somebody who's willing to walk with you, not in front of you. Vote for somebody who's not bought and paid for. I don't owe anybody but the people and God. So when it's all said and done, when you vote Wendell Sam, City Council District 7, I will be able to stand for you, stand with you, and stand beside you and behind you to help you, help me, help everyone in this city move to the next level. In closing, I say that I pray that everyone in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 13th, in every district, get out and vote tomorrow. It is imperative that we change the negative condescending comments about Jacksonville, Florida, across America. Let them know that together we stand, and we are going to stand together and let our voices be heard. Tomorrow, we can make history. Voting Wendell Sams in office in the 7th District, someone who's only been in Jacksonville going on 4 years. Like one of the other candidates shared with me tonight, Wendell, I am proud of you because you are in the race against some of the biggest names in Jacksonville, and you are fighting for change, and I'm proud of you. And I want to say thank you and God bless you to you, Anthony, and to everyone out there. At the end of the day, I'm fighting for you. I believe in you. I believe in me. And I need you all to believe in me enough to vote Wendell Sams, candidate for City Council District 7, and let's bring change together. Now, if you want me to go ahead and pray us on out, I can do that.
Oh, hey, might as well lead us out then with a prayer. And before he does that, you guys, once again, thank each of the listeners out there throughout the city, throughout Florida, throughout the country that are watching this program. Tektronics Media, we're looking to expand technology in over 291 cities throughout the country. We just launched a platform that's going to be worldwide, you guys. And so when it comes to bringing innovation, technology, we look to help bring that. Even in the upcoming elections, we will be providing ways for individuals to be informed and stay informed with candidates unlike they've ever been before. And we just decided to set this as the capstone for the new and upcoming technology that we look to implement. So thank you, Wendell. Thank you, Mincy. God bless all of you guys out there. And we're going to let the last words be none other than the Reverend Sams. Take us out.
Gracious God, our Father, we come thanking you for this moment, that we pray that you continue to guide and take care of each and every candidate running for an office. God, we ask you to bless the voters, that they make informed and intelligent decisions. We pray, oh God, that they're not persuaded, that they're not influenced. We thank you, God, for bringing the city back together as a unity, because together we stand and divided we fall. God, I love you and I honor you and I thank you for everything that you're doing for us and everything that you're doing through us. Thank you, oh God, for this organization that Anthony and 103.7 has brought to the public, letting them know about the candidates. God, I love you and I honor you and I worship you and I thank you, God, in the mighty name of Jesus, for blessing each and every one of us, those that are saved and those that are not, those that don't believe in you and those that believe in you wholeheartedly. God, we love you and we thank you, and continue to order our steps in your will and in our way. God, continue to anoint us, continue to have favor in our lives. God, because favor really is fair. It's not fair to the sinners, but it's fair to those who are saved. And God, I want to continue to worship you while you can continue to have favor in my life. In Jesus' name we pray. We ask it all in for his sake. Amen. Amen and amen. Thank you.